Okay. When I was single, I could do whatever I like. Happy wife, happy home. Unhappy husband, back to your father's home. Considering. I will fly. You see, dog, me and dog, we don't pass the same road. If it's coming, I will cross. If that dog should release
It's
from that
over.
leash,
It's over.
video is over. Church
It's over.
is closed. Help me to look. So are we live?
We are live.
I'm good to go.
Yeah, we're Gucci. Yes, that's. now the realization has come that we're starting.
Hi guys. First disclaimer: this is not a podcast. This is just I don't know.
A conversation.
Right?
Okay.
We're spending summer together, so just like let's have a conversation, and we found this very nice place, so it's giving. So we have a lot of videos, back-to-back videos coming out, and just basically just having honest discussions between two believers, two ladies, two friends, and asking each other questions, seeing things from each other's perspectives, and also hearing what you have to say
In the comments below.
Yes, in the comments below. We don't even have name, right?
Why just winging it?
We don't have name. We don't know the channel. I don't think you have YouTube.
Yes, I do. But you have more followers, so put it on your YouTube.
Put it on
not
YouTube.
my
Then maybe
YouTube.
have TikTok, Instagram, and other things. Because
yeah.
she does content. I think we'll put our handles too.
Yes.
I'll
Please
put
follow us.
Follow us. Subscribe to me on. Don't follow me on Instagram.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow her on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll be bored and you unfollow me. So just
follow me. I promise you, you won't be
just
bored.
Content, TikTok, Instagram. What else?
Just Instagram and TikTok for now. Like that, I'm very yeah. That's
me
it.
just YouTube. So let's get right into it. First thing we're going to be just not first thing, but first thing in the series of all the videos we're going to be doing. Today we are doing married friend versus single friend. So basically asking each other questions and addressing assumptions that each person may have. And yeah.
And I have a couple of questions.
Yes, we are. You can come and say hello real quick. Yes, no, it's YouTube. All right.
Wow. That was so unexpected and fun. And I don't know how to describe it.
To stay in the video. Maybe we just cut it out and make it special. Maybe a blooper.
Special recognition.
And I'm just going to say, because we are actually teachers by training, we most likely will not post their Instagram handle for you guys.
No, we wouldn't.
We most likely will not, because they're obviously under 18.
Yes.
And I don't want anybody's parents to come and throw me inside prison. So please.
Yeah.
We most likely would. That was nice time. That was fun.
Break. Where were we?
Hopefully we can get through the video without much. I see somebody approaching us also. So let's just hope that we can get through the video without.
She's sitting.
All right.
Thank God.
Married friend versus single friend. Addressing assumptions, asking each other questions, and then also seeing what you guys have to say. Let's get into it.
And honestly answering the questions.
I'm going to be as honest as I can be.
Yeah. And as open as we can. We're trying to keep it PG-13.
Much as possible.
As much as possible. Okay, you're starting.
I'm starting. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so obviously I'm not going to be asking questions like I didn't just get married and I forget what being single is like. So I'm just going
to. But you left us in this hood like 7 months ago, so
okay. But I will not ask questions like, oh, what's it like to be single? That's not going to be honest for me, because the memory is still fresh in my mind. But what I'm going to do is ask you about some assumptions that you may have about marriage. what are your assumptions or your thoughts on submission? I know that that's one thing that gets a lot of people kicking. Some don't even like the sound of the word submission.
Yeah.
So when you hear it, what comes to your mind?
So I'm going to answer this first with my Christian mind and my own training that I have from home, right? And based on the things I've learned and things I've seen growing up, the cliche thing that comes to mind when people say submission is maybe someone being a slave, kind of, in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I think over time, I've kind of like been able to unlearn and
Mm-hmm.
relearn and know that submission is not necessarily like putting yourself in the state of being a slave to someone. Is
Mm-hmm.
more of honoring
Mm-hmm.
the man as the head of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't have an issue with submitting because even
Mm-hmm.
the Bible says the man is the head and you as the
Mm-hmm.
wife are to submit. The man is like
Mm-hmm.
a covering of the home.
Mm-hmm.
So I 100% believe in that.
Yeah.
But there are men who
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
that submission means that everything I tell you to do, you do.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying don't obey your husband.
Yeah.
The husband is the head.
Yeah.
But then there are some men who try to manipulate that part of the Bible to say everything I say is the final say. Everything I say is like 100%. When
Yeah.
the actual fact it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a situation where everybody comes together, have like the conversation, and then there's a compromise. You meet yourself in the middle, kind of thing. So I don't have a problem with submission.
Yeah.
I am submissive. I can be a lot.
But
A
you
lot
said
of
something
things.
that's very interesting
Mm.
where I feel like the fear for a lot of people when they hear submission, or a lot of women, is not about the submission in itself. It's about the person on the receiving end of the submission. Is he
Yes.
going to take advantage of this? Is he
Yes.
going to be power thirsty, power hungry? Is he going to not care about my own, views and feelings and things like that? So the problem is not really the submission. I notice that
Yeah.
a lot of
No.
times
True.
is the recipient of this
True.
of the submission, like, and I feel like it all just has to do with trusting God. A lot of times we don't know how much God is willing to reward our obedience. It's like, okay, yes, I'm willing to obey and do this thing that you asked me to do, but are you going to watch my back if I go ahead and obey? But
Yeah.
that alludes to some type of incompetence on the part of God. If
Yeah.
He gives you an instruction, you obey it, and He doesn't watch your back, and He allows you to be hurt in the process of obeying His instructions. So, I think it's even there's some things. Some people are just wired, or God has wired nature in certain ways, where women are actually wired to submit to a head of the family.
Yeah.
But it definitely is easier when you know this person loves me, this person wants the best for our family, and this person actually cares for my feelings, my thoughts, and my opinions. It makes it easier. So I don't, just like you have said, it has confirmed some, something that was in my mind, where people don't really
Have an
fear
issue.
submission. It's just who is on the receiving end of it, and how is that person going to handle my
True.
submitting to them. Which,
True.
yeah.
True.
That's,
So you don't see that I'm submitting means that I'm a fool.
yeah.
No, it's that I want to, but how are you going to
Receive
it
it, yes.
and not make me feel like I'm doing something stupid and being a
Yeah.
fool and I'm just going along and
Yeah.
So that's it.
Assumption one for my
Yeah.
single friend. So is it one I exhaust my list and go to your list, or how?
How do we do it?
Let me exhaust my list.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh yeah, that's nice.
What are your assumptions about communication, in terms of when there is a hard communication to have, or a hard topic to address? How do you assume communication should happen in marriages?
So I think communication shouldn't wait until like marriage. It's like a continuous process from the relationship.
Yeah.
And I believe that if you're with someone who you can share something with 100%,
Yeah.
I don't see the point of having a relationship with a person. So the person you're in a relationship with should be
Yeah.
someone you can talk to about literally anything.
Yeah.
Like anything at all,
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because that's the person that's seeing you naked anyways.
Not yet. You're still talking about relationship.
In
Yeah.
marriage, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So communication is not just, oh, we're sitting down and we're having a conversation, how's your day? What's that? No, that's not all there is to communication.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about what my fears are in relationship, how are you
Yeah.
going to handle them.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to having like really difficult conversations as well,
Yeah.
as much as, of course, because conflicts would arise, can
Yeah.
arise when you're communicating, especially when you have like different opinions
Yeah.
about something. It could be, maybe finances
Yeah.
or sex or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
And when they're like two different opinions,
Yeah.
I believe that communication is good
Yeah.
when each party
Yeah.
is willing to learn from that communication. Not
Yeah.
that I want to enforce my own opinion on you and that's
Yeah.
what stands.
True.
And that's what usually like pisses a lot of women off, because when
Yeah.
they say things and then the man is countering it, and then this
Yeah.
is where submission comes in, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is what you have to do. And
Yeah.
then you might be right.
Yeah.
But now I don't want to agree with you that you're right
Yeah.
because of how you come into
How you're coming across.
it's just going to like counter like the whole process. So communicate well, communication,
Mhm.
basically hearing the opinion of the other person, putting your own
Mhm.
opinion in the best possible way,
Mhm.
and not being afraid of being judged.
So,
Right.
hypothetical scenario.
Mm,
Your husband has said we are going to do A, and that is final. And you're very uncomfortable with doing A. You thought about it like
mm,
from every angle, and it looks like B is the better option to do. And you're not really happy at all about that A, but he has stood on his ground that is A. I'm the man of the house, and I've said is A we are going to do, is not B.
mm.
How then do you how do you communicate in that moment that I think we should do B. I actually don't want us to do A, without it looking like you're challenging him, you're disrespecting him.
Yeah, things like that can be really hard, honestly. Actually, it can be very hard, especially when it's been a point where he's standing his ground that this is what we're doing and that's final. First thing is actually pray. As a Christian, you want to first pray about it, because
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to as much as in as a woman, you should be able to support your husband's decision, your partner's decision, right?
Mm,
But then when you see that this decision is something that will most likely maybe hurt us in the end,
mm.
and you shouldn't go through with it, you should be able to find a way to like, communicate that
I
aspect
like
to
the way you are
him.
saying it. It's sweet to
It's sweet
say.
to say. I know it is. You are living in the reality now. I'm not, but I know that I've had a fair share of my difficult conversations
Yes.
that I've had in relationships.
Mm.
And that even reminds me of one thing I saw on social media, and I had like this full-length conversation. I even entered DM with one particular person that didn't support what I was saying. There was one post I saw, and the person posted, "My husband said I shouldn't go to this party." Like she was dancing, she's like, "This is
Yeah.
me at the party. My husband said I shouldn't go.
Uh-uh.
Marriage is forever. I will settle it when I get back home." And then I put it on the this thing. I said, this is utter disobedience, right? Like
Yeah.
you could have been able to like communicate in such a way where you agree that, okay, let me go for the party, I'm not going to stay long, like
Yeah.
get somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And then girls especially were coming at me like I had to delete my comment. They're like,
Really?
I had to delete my comment. Like, no, you don't do that. It means that you're losing yourself in the relationship, you're letting a man dictate what he wants for you. I said, because your husband said don't go for a party, and you insist that you're gonna go for the party, and you outrightly disobeyed him. He said, if you go for the
And
party, don't
publicize
come back home.
disobedience.
And you now publicize the disobedience. I mean, it could be a skit, whatever it is. I said, but
Yes.
that's something
Yeah.
that you most likely do, right?
True.
And you said, your husband said, if you go to the party, don't come back home. And you're like, marriage is forever. I'll come back home. I will settle it. After you've disobeyed, it might look trivial, but this is
Yeah.
something that you most likely project into other,
Yeah.
areas of your life,
Yeah.
where your husband will say, don't do this thing or don't get involved in this thing. And then you get involved
Yeah.
and you be like, I'll find a way to pacify my husband when I get back home to like,
Yeah.
try and sort it out and whatever. And I said it's outright disobedience. I said because you disobeyed the man as the head of the family, the authority that he has over you, and then you just like you didn't communicate. The communication gap was just not
So
there.
let's go back.
So
When he says it's A and you want it to be
to be
B,
B,
what is that? How will you exactly handle it? You just say yes, sir. It's going
no,
to be
of course
A.
not, because again, you don't want to respond in such a way that it looks like you're now dictating,
Mm.
because men, as much as they can say, oh, they're loving us and everything, they can also, I'm sorry, be egoistic as well
Yes.
and say, I'm the man of the house
Natural.
and this
Yeah.
is what I want us to do.
Yeah.
So, as much as you want him to understand and see the bigger picture of why the B is the best,
Yeah.
don't totally shut down the A.
Hmm. Yeah.
If I'm bringing a better a, a different opinion from what you've brought that
Yeah.
I feel is better,
Yeah.
he is also maintaining that his is better from
Yeah.
his own. He's
Yeah.
tried to communicate it with me. I don't see it. I've tried to communicate. He's
Yeah.
not saying it. But in doing whatever communication it is, I am not 100% shutting him down, because
Yeah.
shutting him down will even spoil everything.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to listen,
Yeah.
no matter how good whatever it is that you want to say is.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. I think what is said is just as important as how it is said. So there is to communicate, or more you will learn that everything is not even communicated verbally. You don't always have to say, oh, I don't like this to XYZ. Sometimes it's important for your husband to feel like he can make executive decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It is as important as it also is to ensure that each party does not feel like their own opinions don't count.
True.
Do you understand? So there is a lovely balance that must be found in making decisions in the family, where both parties must know that their opinions are respected, and the husband must also know that he is honored and respected, to make certain decisions.
Yes.
I won't speak too much about that. You're the one answering questions. I'm the one asking. What are your assumptions about finances? You have something similar like that. Let me skip it because this
Yes,
video is
yes.
already getting long. What are your assumptions about intimacy?
Mm.
Keep it righteous, girl.
Keep it righteous. Keep it righteous. Keep it PG-13.
Yes.
Uh
Assumptions. What do you assume?
okay, so I'm going to first start with this conversation I was having with a couple of colleagues at work, and it's something, a statement I've heard over time, that people say there's something called sexual compatibility, right?
Ah.
Yes, so,
Super.
and that you have to, before you go into the, even I'll not lie, I've heard some pastors to say it, and they'll
Wow.
tell you that you can't be with it. You can't be with a man, like you're hanging out, you're probably at this place, and it doesn't like make a move to you, or it doesn't like,
Girl, gotta leave that church.
let's leave it church. Do you understand? And if they said that if you don't have, like, instances where that happen, then it's probably not sexually attracted to you, and so you're going to find it difficult being intimate when you get into the marriage. Now, I don't know how true that is, right? But I believe that intimacy is far more than sex,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can have sex with anybody,
Yeah.
actually, and
Yeah.
it's just sex, and that's it.
Mm. You can't have intimacy with anybody?
But intimacy, I feel like it's more on like a deeper level.
Yeah.
I mean, how would guys say they go and sleep with one person and then they sleep with another person, and then
Yeah.
they now say, "Oh, I have a deeper connection with this person."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I feel like intimacy is much on a much deeper level,
Yeah.
that is just above like the surface we're having sex
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
It's more intimate and more, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. But the first thing that you said that I wanted to address, where you said sexual compatibility. People always talk about sexual compatibility.
People say it a lot.
You have a, you have you have you have experimented so much that you are not looking for sexual compatibility. I don't even understand the meaning of that. Like, I don't understand. It's just like saying I really don't know.
They do say that you have to. The first time I heard it, I'm like, I don't want to believe there's
I have this
such a
question.
thing.
You find a person that you are sexually compatible with, which I don't know what that means for a believer. You have to explain to me. How do you find a person that you're
No, it means
sexually
you have
compatible
to
with? Be attracted.
you have to be want you again.
You'll
You
be
when
fornicating before you
no when
marry.
what they say is that for you to be sexually compatible with someone, you need to be able to have like that attraction to want to have sex with that
Of
person.
course,
Now I said so when that person explained to me, I said what you're explaining is just normal science of the body, right? I
yeah,
can see someone, I say this person is attractive to me,
yeah,
and I feel attracted to want to have sex with the person, does not mean that we're sexually compatible in your,
yeah. It
if
doesn't
that
mean
is.
that.
So I said
Yeah.
that means I can be sexually compatible with
What is
a
even
lot
the
of
meaning of
people.
sexually
That's
compatible?
that's 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 what I said. And then the person was like, no. So it means that when you're around the person, you should not like you be you need to keep your hands to yourself and whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, but that can happen like with anybody, actually.
It can, but it also is a very important. A friend of mine reached out to me one time and said, "How important is physical attraction in a relationship for a believer?" That was how she put it. I said, "Very
Important.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Very. If there's no physical attraction, let's just be doing brother and sister in Christ now. Like, oh, I'm praying for
You're
you,
praying for
praying
me.
for me. That's all. But physical attraction is also very, very important. We can't
Mm-hmm.
take that one out at all. But when people start to say things like sexual compatibility, it's different. Don't let them lie. Why did they not just say physical attraction? Why did they have to say sexual compatibility? They know
To
what they are
see if you
talking
can
about.
match my stand in bed, or if you can.
I have nothing to say about that.
We're keeping it PG-13.
I have nothing to
But
say about that.
I don't, I'm not of that school of thought,
Yeah,
right? I mean, I I believe that sex is a beautiful thing,
yeah,
and when done within the confines of the marriage,
yeah,
it's something to explore like for the rest of your life. So,
yeah. I'll say about intimacy in marriage also is learned. You are growing
mm,
together. When you marry a
together.
person, you are growing in every area together. So, and a beautiful thing about marriage is there's no need to be ashamed of
Mm-hmm.
anything. You are together. You are naked. You're not ashamed. You are learning everything together in every area. It's the first time
Mm,
you're going to be married, so I mean,
yeah.
if it is the first time you're going to be married, it's the first time you're going to be married.
Yeah.
So, you are learning everything together. So there's no judgment. Anything that you don't know, you can learn. Anything your partner doesn't know, you can learn. So quit with all that. All those talk of.
Whatever.
All right, I think that's all.
That's all.
Let's go to
Okay.
you.
So my question.
I'm ready to answer.
Apparently, I have a couple questions. So
Uh, uh,
now,
uh, uh.
first question, which I've always, wanted to ask my married friends,
Dun
what's the
dun
fuss about
dun.
marriage? I mean, what's married life about? Because you like now, I know I make a lot of jokes, especially on my social media, and I go, oh, I can't wait to get married. When I get married, I can't wait to say, oh, I'll talk to my husband about this. I'll get back to you. I mean, it's fun to say. It's so cute and beautiful outside, especially when you see
Hmm.
people doing all this, their PDAs and stuff outside. It's so cute to see. But like, what's the fuss about marriage, really?
What is the fuss about marriage? I would say, um, God never created people to be independent beings, just like we had mentioned earlier. There's a reason God created man and woman,
Mm,
and that's to show people that people need people. And it's very natural to see that people need people. Even in the non marital space, normal relationships, people need people. People need friends, people need families. People who have friends, family, who have strong social connections, they thrive better than people who don't. But the thing about marriage is a step further. It's actually more intimacy. You can't share intimacy, I hope not, with or some kind of intimacy with, other type of social connections you have. But
mm,
there is something in man that actually desires intimacy, that desires relationship, and it's a God thing that he puts inside of man. And that's why Paul can liken Christ and the church to husband and wife, because it just shows us that we were created to be
mhm,
dependent on God, to have fellowship with God, to have intimacy with God. And this is just the physical representation of what that symbolizes. So
mhm,
we are created to have intimacy, to have relationship, to have fellowship with one another. We can see that on a general scale in terms of friendships, family relationships, but there's a deeper, more intimate version,
mhm,
which is marriage. And it is fulfilling because there's something inside of a man created to desire that. So
mm,
it fulfills that desire for intimacy and relationship
mm.
that God has put inside of a man. And That's the first, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, that's the first.
Any other thing, they're Kukuma already doing it outside.
Right.
So
So yeah, so which brings me to my next question. So I mean, part of your answers answered like the question,
yeah,
but I want you to like just answer like, so what's like the difference, like outright difference? I mean, you've talked about like the deeper intimacy that you get, and then
yeah,
the fact that you're not independent, you're with someone.
yeah.
So what's not like the difference between being single and being married? You said something. You said, I mean, every other thing is kuku being done
Eh.
like as a single person.
Okay, what's the difference between being single
Being
and
single
doing all
and
those
being
things?
married,
And
and like,
explain.
is there like a different thing I would? Is there something I'll do differently? Like, oh, I'm a single person. This is what I'll do, and then I'm a married person, and this is what I do. You mentioned something when you started. You said I just got married. I mean, you just got married like
Yeah,
some months ago, so you
yeah.
still remember like the things with the
Okay, okay,
single
okay,
life. So
okay,
what's like
okay.
the difference
Oh,
now?
I
Is it
understand.
just like a change in I'm now moved from Miss to Mrs.?
Okay. When I was single, I could do whatever I like. Is that's one difference? Now you can't live like a one man soldier. I also remember saying that when I was single, your flaws are less exposed.
Mm,
It's a different thing to be married though. Everything is under the microscope. You're not thinking about one person, you're not thinking about just yourself. If you used to be the person that can leave your things anywhere, it's fine, you can do whatever you like, it's fine. Now you have to be considerate about another person, same way another person has to be considerate about you. So I think that's a major difference for me. It's very different living independently and then coming to live together with somebody. It's a difference. I'll also say that
follow up question.
yeah.
Difference living with someone. Okay, so like me now,
Mm-hmm.
I have a flatmate. I'm
Yeah.
living with someone.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Oh, not the same thing.
It's not. How is it not the same
It's
thing?
not the same thing. What are you doing with your classmates?
Actually, true,
Okay
sure.
then.
You have a point.
QED equation solved.
True,
That's just
true.
everything is under a
Mm,
microscope in marriage. So it's much more different where you're not living for yourself now. You're living not like you're living for your spouse, so but you always have to be considering.
mm-hmm.
I will I will fly. You see, dog, me and dog, we don't pass the same road. If it's coming, I will cross. If that dog should release
It's
from that
over.
leash,
It's over.
video is over. Church
It's over.
Agbasa is closed. Help me to look.
Still there. It's pooping. I think the poop was hard.
That's why he's shouting.
I want to believe so.
Teba.
Come, let me check this thing is still recording.
This
Good.
woman has
This woman is
unleashed that
not.
violent dog.
She has not. She's still holding it.
No, the
She's
rope
still
is not
holding
on
it.
his
No,
neck.
yes.
Okay, that's lovely.
You should
Anywho,
know how to tear rubber and tear away.
what's our next question?
Uh-huh.
Over to you. Your next question for
All
me.
right. So, what do you miss the most? I know you said as a single person, you
Oh,
can do whatever
oh yeah.
as you like. So, what do you miss the most about being a as a single person that we should enjoy now before we get married?
Enjoy free time. Oh, enjoy free time. You're you see, the thing about it is we take time for granted. You feel like I will always have time. You will not always have time. You won't always have time. Like get as much sleep as you can. Not like you
Mm,
won't get sleep now, but just know that you can't just wrap all your whole life and time around yourself because there's now another person to accommodate.
mhm,
Enjoy your free time. Spend this time to develop yourself as much as you
mm,
can. Your single life should not be spent chasing marriage. I really need to say that. Don't spend your single life chasing marriage because when marriage comes, it has come forever. Except you have it in your mind one day that when you are tired, you will leave. But when it has come forever until you
mm,
leave this side of life. You are going to be married. It's forever. So there's really no need
mm,
to. So don't spend your single life waiting for marriage, running after marriage, because when you enter, you have entered, you are not going anywhere. Spend time to develop yourself and make the best use of time. Like make
mm.
the best use of time.
The best use of time.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
a lot. Now, my
Next
next
question.
question: what do you enjoy the most as a married woman? Keep it PG-13.
Okay.
Terms.
I enjoy having a person in my corner.
Mhm.
at all times. And that's really the thing about marriage, is in good times, it's in the bad times, just having a person in my corner at all times. I used to be a very introverted person where I I'm not the type of friend that will always be in my friends' faces all the time, always calling them, always letting them know what's up with me. So I could be going through something and nobody will really know. But
True.
yeah.
I agree.
Well, but
True.
now I have somebody who, like they'll say in Yoruba, someone is looking at your face. Some
Mhm.
people are not looking at your face, but something is wrong with you. Somebody will know. Just having someone in your corner, also having another voice of reason, voice of counsel. I also used to be someone who's very impulsive, where if something comes to my head, I will not think about it so long before I put my hand and start doing it. But there's a wisdom that God has put in marriage, in each partner for each other. Do you understand? So God speaks to me through, my husband, and I think I enjoy that fellowship, that intimacy. I also enjoy being able to, it's like a fresh ginger at life, or zeal at life. Do you understand? The Bible says that iron will sharpen iron.
Yes.
One will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. So somebody can really push you to be better. You can push him to be better. You can set goals, work hard together and achieve those goals. So it's just really the power of working together. I love it
Mhm.
so much. I love the ginger. I love the intimacy. I love, having somebody in my corner. Yeah, that's what I love about marriage.
Who's gonna be my corner?
Oh well.
Apply within. Anyways.
Apply below, apply in the comment
Apply.
section. We are
Apply.
we, we are selling forms.
You are selling form.
Yeah,
And it's not cheap.
it's not
Okay.
cheap.
Moving on. Um. So now this question, right? I know she said she had a question about finances. I so said like let's ask this question now so we can like all talk about
Eesh.
it. What is your take on finances? I'm going to start with your opinion regarding joint accounts and regarding sharing things 50-50. It could be even chores 50-50, or money, how money is being spent on things in the
Paying
house, like
bills.
how paying bills. Now there are men who believe that they are the traditional men. They believe that I have to take care of the
Odogus.
odogus. I pay the school fees. I pay the bills. All you have to do as a woman is just make sure food is ready and take care of the children in the house. That's the traditional woman. And then the traditional man is cover everything. Now, I'm not saying my man don't spend on me, please.
Hmm.
By all means do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I just want to know what your take is on, sharing 50-50, or is
Hmm.
it that the whoever earns the most takes care of the bill, and then who
Hmm.
earns less is, I don't know.
Yeah.
How is it in marriage?
I've heard 50-50 so many times. I've heard what do you bring to the
Ah,
table. I've heard
this
all the
table.
stuff.
The table will break
The
one day. The
table.
amount of
If
time
I bring tablecloth, uncle,
is something.
it makes the table fine, so that anything you put on the table will also be
Fine.
fine. But really, 50-50, I would say that life has a way of humbling people.
Mm,
What do you mean by 50-50? Like, okay, both of us are working, earning equal income. What if one person falls ill and is unable to work? It voids the clause of for better for worse in marriage, where you are not bringing 50 again, so I can't be with you if that is yours. So that's why the first and most important thing is always to marry somebody that shares the same values with you on
mm,
important topics like finances.
mm,
There are men like you mentioned, that believe they're going to work, they're going to pay all anything pertaining to money, they'll be responsible for it. They just want the wife that'll stay at home and make the home. There are men like that, and there are women for them. If
mm,
you're not the woman for them, you went to school, you did masters, you have a thriving career, you want to do a lot with your life. Don't marry that type of odogu that does not want any. Just marry somebody who shares the same values with you. But like I said, life can throw you a curveball.
mhm,
Odogu can get married to his wife, and he's the one earning all the money. Doesn't want her to work, just wants her to sit at home, and something medically happens to him and he can't work. his wife has to step up, and then
Yeah.
he will have to evaluate everything that he has known and he has lived by. So most important thing, marry somebody that has the same values as you. And marriage is teamwork. Teamwork means I make up for you where you are weak, and you make up for me where I'm weak. So we leverage each other's strengths at every moment in time. Like we were saying earlier, when you say 50-50, okay, can we do everything 50-50? Can a man carry a baby 50-50? It's only one thing he will do in the whole
Once you have
process.
deposit, that's all.
It's just to deposit. After that, everything literally the mother is going to do. And God has designed it to be that way. And there are
Then he
times where
helps.
and he can help. And then in other things where she's unable to do 50 or even unable to do anything, he can do 100. That really is what marriage is about. Above everything, marry a kind person. Some people are not kind, and you may be going through a hard time financially, and there's nothing worse as being shamed for that, as not being able to contribute financially in a relationship, simply because the other person is fortunate enough. Breeze wants to blow our our camera.
Help. Don't blow. Don't blow. Don't blow. Don't blow. Calm down. Calm down. I feel like breeze will not blow it. I mean,
Okay.
it's not, the stand is not that strong, but I feel
Yeah.
it can withstand.
That's all right. So marry a kind person, marry somebody who has the same values as you, and have these conversations before you say, "Oh my God, yes!" Before you do that, have this conversation
I
so
think
that
that's the problem a lot of us single ladies do. We don't ask these questions, and
very
then we get
important
into the
questions.
marriage, and then like, why are you trying to dim my shine? Why are you not contributing? Or why are you saying I must not go to work? I have to stay at home. If it's a conversation that you had before, and you're saying, oh no, we already had this conversation, it changed,
Yeah.
and whatnot. So these are things that you need to let your spouse to be know
Yeah.
prior, so it's like an understanding, so he
Yeah.
understands that it's not like I'm getting into the marriage and saying I have to stop working. That's
Yeah.
not gonna work.
Yeah.
So he understands prior, and then you also, I mean, you put everything in place. A lot of ladies make that mistake
Yeah. Lovely. Any more
because I'm
questions?
in love with this person. I can change him when we get in the marriage.
Wow.
Wow.
The changer.
Wow. Odogu changer. All
Any
right.
more?
So my next question, and I would
A question I'm not sure.
sorry, after this one is just one last question.
That's okay about that.
So, next question. A lot of people are of the opinion that there should be like a joint account, and then
Joint account. Yeah.
yes, and then there's also this saying where people say, "My money is my money,
Your
and your
money is
money is
our
our money."
money.
Right? So that means if I'm
Yeah.
earning money, it's my money, or
Yeah.
my husband's money is everybody's money, so it's
Yeah.
earning
Yeah.
for. So, what's your opinion on that? And it also, goes with the saying where they say, "Happy wife, happy home." As well. So that means if your money is our money, then your wife is happy, and as long as I'm happy, my happiness is your happiness.
Nah, so if the husband is not happy,
As long as
the
the
home
wife
will
is
be happy.
well, if they say if the wife is happy, everybody's happy. So the
Happy wife, happy home. Unhappy husband, back to your father's home. And that was it. Unhappy husband, back to your father's home. So what I would say about first of all, happy wife, happy life is, I mean, it's an amazing saying, but it goes both ways. Happy husband, happy life, happy wife, happy children, happy life. No member of the home should be unhappy. If any member of the home is unhappy, the whole home in itself will not function as it should. Then we'll talk about joint accounts. This is my personal opinion, and the thing about finances is don't take any other family template and use as your own template, but every family should have harmony in terms of how they want to make decisions financially. And but every individual in the marriage must also have autonomy, like some type of individualness to their finances. Do you understand? So even if you have a joint account, you should also have individual accounts, and maybe have an agreement on how much percentage each person is contributing to the joint account or to the bills, based on each person's earning ability, and based on personal agreements also. But each person should also have personal accounts. If I want to surprise my husband, I will take money from joint accounts and say, sorry, honey, I took money to surprise you.
First
As the money is going, you say, what's the money for? You say, I can't tell you. You tell. You would tell. So there
This for
should
your
be
surprise.
harmony in terms of how,
Mhm.
finances are dispersed and how much each person is contributing to the family purse based on their earning power or based on agreements. Some wives may have strong earning power, but the husband is like, don't worry, I'll take care of all the bills, which is cool. But each person should also have, and that's my own opinion, should have some type of autonomy or individualness in terms of having some personal type of money in case of incasity. Very
True,
important.
true, true. My final question.
Is
Now we know that there's no relationship without conflict, right?
oh, of course,
Every relationship have their downs.
of
There's always
course,
the ups and downs,
of
right?
course.
So how do you resolve conflicts? And I think this kind of like binds the first question I asked with regards to I think
Communication,
communication,
yeah,
yes, and how do you so how when it comes to like a time where there's conflict, how
yeah,
do you resolve conflicts in and also trying to respect that this is still my husband and the man of the home,
yeah.
even if you know that excuse me sir, but
I'm very angry with
you do
you.
be like
I'm very angry with
I'm very
you.
angry. So how do you do it? Because I know if you're judging by the kind of conflicts I have with my siblings, right?
Hey, fine
Mm.
fifth by 100.
Yeah. So how do you now resolve conflict so that because
Mm,
I mean there are times where you fight with your siblings and you just like
I can't throw
you
you
can't
away.
exactly you can't throw yeah. So how do you do it such a because I mean you also cannot throw yours money. How
You
do you
can't
resolve
really.
conflict? Like just can't say I'm going to my
I
father's house,
remember
I'm not
one
doing
time I
this.
was so upset. I was like, I might just go back to my house. I was, I was, I was so angry. I was like, so you are trying to tell me I can't storm out now? Before, if you are dating, you can storm out.
No, you can't stop.
I can't storm out. I can't just say,
You can't put your phone on
see you
DND.
tomorrow.
No.
Can't say, you cannot say, I can't deal with this right now. I need to clear my head. I'll talk to you tomorrow. When you are going on the
It's in
same
bed.
the same bed. I think that's it for me. One day it dawned on me. I was like, wow. And but that's the amazing thing about marriage. You have to deal with conflict. You cannot just leave it to
Mm,
fester. The whole atmosphere will be very, very, very bad. But I remember being at one. We went to a marriage conference where you know this question was asked and people were saying all types of things. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. And at the end, somebody just said, we have to also um, make prayer a culture in terms of resolving conflict. And the fact that it was a Christian conference and nobody had said that, and we're all, just vibing and saying, oh,
winging
I'll
it.
do this, I'll do this. It just brought all of us back home to remind us that, wait, so we are men of the spirit. We are not
Mm,
like ordinary human beings. So how come we're thinking everything logical and haven't even thought about what we can do as believers? And
mm,
don't take praying about conflict lightly at all. It works wonders. It works wonders in terms of how your communication is even received. You can say something, you say the same thing, and it's received two different ways.
mm.
On how God works on the heart of your partner, on how God works on your own heart. Sometimes it's hard to even see where you are wrong, but the Holy Spirit can do that for you sometimes, and also give you wisdom.
It don't be windy.
Windy. Yeah, and also give you wisdom on how to go about some certain issues. Not everything must be addressed verbally, really. Not everything
Mm,
must be. It's not everything that we must know who is right and who is wrong. Sometimes you are right, you won, but at what cost?
mm.
Yeah, I've won now, but there's animosity in the air, there is unhappiness in the air. So
What's the point?
what's the point really? So God
Yeah.
actually gives us wisdom. So in fact, I cannot overestimate praying about conflict in a marriage. Pray about conflict a lot before you speak. Pray for wisdom, pray that your words are received, pray for your partner's heart also. Sometimes when they hurt
Mm,
you might talk from today to tomorrow and they cannot see what they did wrong.
mm.
They can't see. They might even just give you an apology that okay, oh, if you feel like that, sorry. Because they might not really see what they did wrong,
Sure.
but you can pray, and the spirit of God in them can, I mean, in them, that is, you married a believer.
So marry a believer
Yes,
as you're a believer.
yes, so that the spirit of God can talk to them, can let him know that, you know, just bring him to feel compassion
Mm-hmm.
in terms of understanding what you are talking about in that period and in that season. And I'll say talk about everything, but understanding your partner is also very important because I noticed, or rather, I learned just after attending, marriage classes, and that men communicate different ways. Women will talk about it now, but men actually need some time to cool off, to think, or some space before they can come back and address the issue. And it was a problem for me at a point because I was like, I want to talk this thing that happened. I want to talk about it now. But when I went to, counseling class, I realized that it's not just my husband. Most men are like that. Like they don't want to talk right now. When the issue is happening, they actually just want, to everything to calm down a bit
Mm-hmm.
before they actually address it logically. So that is also part of it. So don't say, he doesn't want to talk now. That means he does not
He's
love me.
also
Does not.
communicate.
Yeah. So
He's not
under
communicating.
understanding your partner
Mm-hmm.
is very important. Praying is the most important. Praying and
Right.
talk about everything. Yeah. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one very important thing is whenever there's a conflict, I heard someone say this, and I think it's so profound. Always see it as me and my partner versus this conflict, not me versus my partner. So my partner and I, we are a team. My husband and I were a team, and we are going up against this conflict. It's not as if it is me versus my husband. It doesn't matter who
Mm-hmm.
is right. It doesn't matter who is wrong. The most important thing is that there's conflict in our home, and it's an outsider, and it has to go, and we have to work together to resolve this
The
conflict and
conflict.
ensure that it goes.
Mm, that's profound. Me and my partner versus the conflict.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
very
to our
much.
TED Talk.
Thanks for coming. Oh, final talk. What's your advice to us single ladies? I know you talked about, embracing your singleness,
Yeah,
enjoying the time that you have, the free time that you have,
yeah,
you know, and what advice would you give, especially for either people who are single and
yeah,
looking, to get married
yeah,
someday, and even people who are just like newly married and like
yeah.
just putting their feet in water. I know you say you're newly married, but you're 7 months into it. So
And dated for eight
and
years.
dated, so she have that's like
PhD.
that's BSc and MSc together in relationship.
I'm
So
telling you.
so you have collect 2 degrees. So you do you do get it.
Yes.
So what's the advice that you give for single people and then also for a newly married couple or even new people who are just getting into a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Who just start a relationship
Yeah.
and like, oh, what do we talk about? This is like a new phase for us
Yeah.
and
I would say for single people, I would say trust God. Oh.
hmm,
I don't say that very lightly. I'm saying it with all gravity. Trust God. Oh. Don't force yourself into something that's not ideal, not knowing that there's something better for you just because it looks like nothing is coming, or because you just want something to happen right away, and so you force something to happen. In the bottom of your heart, you know that, is this the best I could really get? God is able to bring to you that which you desire and much more. A lot of times when people see that their stories are not turning out exactly as other people's stories, it's time to do what I can do to make it work. But trust God, though. God is faithful. The moment you start to try to make things happen in your own, power, try to scheme, try to strategize, try to manage, try to patch things up, it just shows that you have somewhere in your mind that God might not come through for you, and that's actually unfair to God, because it means I don't see him as
hmm,
competent enough to care for me. After trusting God with my life, then I just don't know if he really will, or if he still remembers me, or if he actually has something great coming for me. So this one that I've seen, let me just hold on to it and manage it. But there's nothing worse than giving the rest of your life to somebody who doesn't deserve it, or giving the or entering marriage knowing somewhere at the bottom of your heart that I could have gotten better and I could have done better. God still has, or God will always have the best in store for his children. So trust God with all your heart, and he never disappoints us.
yeah.
Yes. And the next question was
Does
newly.
new in relationship or new in marriage?
Me too, I'm new in marriage. I need people that are older in marriage in the comment section. Please give us advice. Give us advice. We have
Oh
been
yeah,
married
new in
for.
relationship nko.
If you're new in a relationship, comparison is the thief of joy. Oh. Don't
Mm.
compare. Dated
Hmm.
for 8 years. See, when I started dating one of my friends, she had not even used her two eyes to see the person that she was going to marry. As at the time I was getting married, our child was already 4 years old.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so don't compare your story to
Another
anyone's story.
person's.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Trust that God is writing your own unique story. There are people who got married at 45, the best marriage of their life, 50, the best marriage of their life. So don't, if you're just entering into a relationship. Another thing I wanted to mention, when I started dating, we were both in NYSC, and
Mm.
not a friend of mine, that person's not my friend, but one of these NYSC people, girls that come around my house said, God forbid, how can I be with somebody who is also in NYSC like me, like, on the
Hmm.
same level as me? And if I was the kind of person that would take such things to heart, I'll go and start thinking, because obviously at that time, guys were coming with big cars to pick up girls, guys who were working, and me and my husband were coppers. Or that time, we're not yet married, but we were coppers. We're collecting alawi. We're going to
95.
19.5, and we're going to,
Hi.
and we knew that God really wanted this for us. So don't compare. And above everything, always trust God. Go to
Mm.
God in prayer, no matter what it is, that's burdening your heart. Go to God in prayer. God usually makes things clear to us. Sometimes we just choose to turn a blind eye. But if you have something bothering you, go to God in prayer. He will make it so clear to you like this.
Mm.
Sometimes it's the prayer that you pray that spoil your relationship. You don't know. You tried everything for it to work and it didn't work because you have already prayed, and God is giving God right of way to take that away for you
Doing.
because
Mhm.
it's not for you. But you have to trust Him. As much as He's able to preserve you from the bad, He's able to bring the best to you also. That's all. So if you're
That's
married for
amazing.
more than 10 years, even 5 years, I collect advice. Please give us in the comment section.
Drop the
25
advice
years.
for us, though, please.
And any other thing you'd like to add to everything that we've said today, drop in the
Drop it in the
comment
comments
section.
below.
Follow Debbie on her channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Press the bell. What do you call it? Notification.
To subscribe,
No.
notification, to turn on notification
Ahem.
for, yes, because we're going to be dropping a
We're going
lot
to be
of
dropping a lot of
videos.
videos.
So
So
stay tuned. I'm currently in the UK now. I'm vacationing with my friends. So we have a lot of time on our end.
yeah, so we'll make
Okay,
more
so we're
videos.
making more videos. So stay tuned and
See you next time. Peace out.
peace out. Bye. Oh, that was awesome. I'm just screaming.